leaking, and with this one right here, this whole thing right here coming into this whole thing, you got the KGF chapter 2 with the trailer. You got the trailer, and you got the whole other thing, like you got this whole thing. But this is something it's something else, we're checking out the trailer with the chapter 2 KGF, and with everything else coming into this right here. Like this is something else, this is something, a trailer, this is a part of another thing, a whole nother shit you think. But I'm guessing, as I'm guessing, the whole thing, this is part of a whole thing. I'm guessing it's probably already, the whole thing, because this is pretty much of a old skit. But you got with the trailer, especially with the KGF chapter 2 and the whole miscation, coming through this one right here. And everything else, and just with the whole, this whole thing right here, just open.
KGFನಲ್ಲಿ ಗರುಡನ್ ಸಾಯಿಸಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮುಂದೇನಾಯ್ತು ನೀವು ಓದ್ತೀರಾ?
ರಕ್ತದಿಂದ ಬರೆದಿರೋ ಕತೆ ಇದು. ಶಾಯಿಯಿಂದ ಮುಂದುವರ್ಸೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಮುಂದುವರ್ಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಕ್ತದಿಂದ ಬರೆದಿರೋ ಕತೆ ಇದು. ಶಾಯಿಯಿಂದ ಮುಂದುವರ್ಸೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಮುಂದುವರ್ಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ರಕ್ತನೇ ಕೇಳುತ್ತೆ.
There will be no more tolerance. ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಪಡೆಗಳಿವೆ.
Oh, especially with this right here, she said there would be no more tolerance and this and that. Like, hey, shout out to India, as I'm not mistaken, India, and everything else, the Indias, because India is different. Like, they have their own thing going on, especially with the whole, mixture of all type of gens. Like, they have a different unique thing, coming on through this whole thing, especially, how they represent their stuff and everything else. But India, especially with this whole thing, especially with the main thing, but especially with everything else, refruiting.
There will be no more tolerance. ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಪಡೆಗಳಿವೆ. उसके मारेंगे.
ಕತ್ತಿ ಬೀಸಿ ರಕ್ತ ಹರಿಸಿ ಯುದ್ಧ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಾಶ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ, ಉದ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೀಳೋ ಹೆಣಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಉಪಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತವೆ. ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ರಣಹದ್ದುಗಳನ್ನ ಕೇಳೋ.
Hey, this movie seems so interesting too, like everything else coming into this. But as I'm not mistaken, this whole thing it's already out. I'm thinking, the movie's out already, because this is pretty much this was a trailer. I'm thinking this was pretty much an old trailer. I'm not mistaken, right from wrong, but I'm pretty sure, the whole thing is already, out, with the whole thing. But especially with this whole thing, and like everything is just counted in.
ಉದ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೀಳೋ ಹೆಣಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಉಪಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತವೆ. ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ ರಣಹದ್ದುಗಳನ್ನ ಕೇಳೋ.
He is the biggest criminal. He is the biggest businessman. This is the biggest national issue.
Violence, violence, violence. I don't like it. I avoid. But violence likes me. I can't avoid. Violence, I avoid. But violence likes me. I can't avoid.
Ooh, he just said some deep stuff, hey, like they say, you can't run from the violence. The violence always like somehow it always it tries to find a way to you. It connects to you, but hey, hey, this is when war comes, all this other stuff. You got the war, then you got like everything else coming. But he said violence, especially from him saying, he didn't want it around him, it comes to find him. So, hey, this is getting, more of a interesting thing because especially the way everything was filmed and like it's filmed in so of a instinct thing.
I can't avoid.
मैं तुम्हारा सब कुछ छीन लूंगी।
ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡೋರ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನನ್ನ KGF ಪಡೆಯೋಕೆ.
ನನಗೆ ಯಾರ ದೋಸ್ತಿನೂ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ದುಶ್ಮನಿ ಯಾವನು ತಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಆಫರ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸಸ್ ಸೂನ್.
ಈ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಬಂಗಾರನೆಲ್ಲ ನಿನಗೆ ತಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಮ್ಮ.
ಸರಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಈಗ ನೀನು ಮಲ್ಕೋ, ನಾಳೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಎದ್ದು ಹೋಗಿ ತರುವಂತೆ.
Ooh, chapter two with the whole thing. But hey, especially with this, is you guys ain't checked out this movie. This is exclusive too. Like I'm thinking something exclusive's coming here too, because this whole thing. You got the trailer, especially the trailers. The trailers is giving you a little bit of the how the inside is looking like the inside of the movie. How it's actually gonna be before you actually go watch it yourself. But with this whole thing right here, especially with the KGF, the chapter. You got the chapter two, especially this whole thing. Me seeing myself, I'm preferring. This is a good. This is a good movie right here. This is actually a good movie. Even though I can't, really understand it. I feel like it's still a good movie. In my prefer, 'cause, it don't matter what language it is. It don't matter what where it's from, where it was made. It still has a prestige to it. But you got the chapter with especially with this whole thing. I'm guessing the movie's out too already because I'm seeing it being previewed live, all type of things going on. I see people seeing I don't know, but I'm thinking it must be out with the whole thing. But you got the chapter two, the trailer and everything else. But with this whole thing right here, you guys want to see me do more of like movies, things like this, then just let me know and everything else. But with this whole thing coming through and everything else, precision. But you guys definitely comment, like, subscribe, everything else. And especially with this one right here. And shout out to India. It's I got it wrong. India, wherever it's from, but I'm thinking it's India because you know the whole Indian thing is this is how they, but everything else just coming through